I'm Lynn Rosen, and my project is Gasbag.
Hi, I'm Chad Kessler, and I am Gasbag as well.
Awesome. Congratulations on this. I saw the first season, which made me laugh so much. Seeing
Thank you.
seeing this beginning of the second season, there's a new dynamic to it. It seems like it's evolved a bit. What was it that made you guys want to kind of step it up and move forward with a second season?
Chad, do you want to take it or should I?
Well, I think you should because you
Okay.
you concocted the
Well,
whole thing up. So
we did the first season on Zoom, as you saw
Mhm.
from watching it. Thank you for liking it and watching it. And we did it just to stay connected and creative and to keep working during COVID lockdown. Because I'm a playwright as well as a TV writer. Chad's an actor. We have so many actor friends, and we're both in New York City, and we're very involved in the theater world. So I was like, I've always wanted to write about an overtalker. I find them very fascinating. I want to know the psychology behind it. And never making fun of them. I'm just
Mhm.
just interested. And so I wrote this piece for my wonderful friend Chad, who is in no way an overtalker. Just kidding. He's a little bit of an overtalker. And we had so much fun doing it. We brought in some other actors and friends and a director, Meredith McDonough, and everyone loved doing it and loved watching it. So we were like, let's try to like step this up a notch and do it even more professionally with like now that we're not locked down for COVID with iPhones and Filmic Pro. And of course, we'd like to actually next season step it up another notch and use an actual camera, but we have to raise the funds for that.
Definitely. Let's talk a little bit about these overtalkers. I'm not an overtalker. So what is it about that dynamic of overtalking that you really wanted to center upon in this series?
Well, I'm just always interested in why I'm always interested in like most of the things I write are based on true stories I read in the paper or someone doing something incredible or heroic or terrible, and I want to know why. And I think when it comes to overtalkers, I don't know. And sometimes I ask this of myself, what is it about the silence that they're not comfortable with? So what are the things they're afraid to think about when they're alone with themselves, when they're not spewing words? What are those things they're avoiding? And if we got an actual, season and more of a budget, we would get into more of that with George and why the character George, who is the gas bag, and why he talks so much, even though it makes him very lovable, I
Mhm.
think, in the show.
Definitely. Chad, is there any obstacles in embodying this character because he's quite out there at certain points?
yeah, it's the hard thing about it is, when we've even had other actors
Mhm.
who are amazing and incredible. If you, especially in the overtalker world, if you ever stop and think, it's just you kind of lose all the comedy and you lose the character. So the challenge is you have to really know your lines. So I have to really know the dialogue because and, yeah, there's obviously moments where you can improvise, but Lynn is a brilliant writer, and I want to honor what she's writing. And I also um, really need to have a really good handle on exactly the script, exactly my intentions, exactly why he's over talking in the moment he's over talking, which turns out is usually when he's slightly uncomfortable. That's when he gets wound up into more of this kind of frenzy.
Mhm.
So, and also trying to not make him annoying is a big deal too,
Okay.
because the character could be annoying. And I
Yeah.
really try to find levels to be able to, and he's also very big and very animated.
Mhm.
So, and I think that's kind of the charm of, if he was just a quiet over talker, that would maybe not be as entertaining. So I think the challenge has been to really try to find the happy medium between, real life and Muppet.
Mhm. Definitely. I like that the fact that you don't want him to be as annoying because I don't find him annoying. I find
Good.
him to be a little bit too charming to be annoying.
Mhm.
How similar are you to this character?
Well,
Chad is very charming. I mean, that's part of the casting. I mean, Chad is not only a great actor, and he is acting in this, but you need someone who has that inherent charm.
Mhm.
You do, Chad.
oh, thanks.
Speak to your charm.
Yeah, I think like I'm obviously like I don't I can't wait for you to see the other. I can't wait for you to see the pilot, and we actually
Mhm.
have a second episode as well that we have filmed. Um, basically in tandem with what we did with the pilot. And I'm excited for you to see it. But he's really trying. He's just come out of the closet. He's
Mhm.
just struggling finding his gay identity. He's obviously a late bloomer on that. I think he's kind of just been a little sexless his whole life, and he uses his words and his armor to combat like what he's feeling inside. Maybe sometimes worthless, maybe sometimes not good enough, or sometimes he never really fit like into a into a community. Um, so I think I'm so as far as he's concerned, that's not like me.
Mhm.
Obviously, I'm very out. I'm very comfortable. I have a ton of friends. I have a very different place in this world than he does, but I find a lot in common with him and in some of his insecurities.
One of the funniest parts of this pilot episode for season two is that he's come to accept his sexuality, and now it seems that everybody else is questioning it. Why was this an aspect you wanted to pursue in this season two?
Well, we wanted to, I think it's really nice to celebrate someone, who is decided to, after this, the first season is like him realizing who he is when he's
Mhm.
alone during COVID and he's isolated and he's finally like, I have no friends. I am not happy at being me. And so it's really nice in season two that he's like, this is who I am. But it's also really fun because he's very bad at it.
Mhm.
Like he's just come out and he's just realized he's gay and he just doesn't, like if we get to do another season, we're going to investigate that more and it's going to be so funny but so human, never making fun of him, always with him, on the journey. I just think it's really important actually to see someone discovering that and realizing that makes them happy, especially right now. I think it's a story we need to see. What do you think, Jen? What do you
Yeah, I mean, like that was something that I found very, very appealing. I've never seen that before.
Mhm.
I've never seen like, I think you see a lot of like, you don't really see a lot of gay representation of people over 40, and if you do, they're rich, they're
Mhm.
daddy buff, they're nerds, they're florists, they're just like over there's caricatures or there are stereotypes. You don't really see a comedy that's like in a pretty gentle comedy, just about an average gay guy trying to come out and live his life. There's been no, there's obviously, I'm looking at a certain age, so obviously a lot of the old stuff when growing up, we had no role models.
Mhm.
We basically had AIDS, and that stuff was basically all I saw growing up when it came to gay representation. So it was very important for me to do this and to have authentic representation. Like also one thing we did with any gay character in the show, we only cast members, of the community, who were out and stuff. So that was really important, and that was a huge honor that we got to do. Um, and I want to going forward as we build the show. That's something that'd be important to me. I just feel like I've never really seen this kind of character
Mhm.
before represented really anywhere. So I really I'm thrilled to bring it to life.
With a lot of the pieces falling, into place, you guys are at Dances with Films. It's Pride Month. You guys are going to be shown at the TCL Chinese Theatre. How does all that, feel for you guys now that, it's coming to life?
Pretty exciting. I mean, we feel very fortunate, super grateful. We're definitely going there. We're going from New York there. We're going to celebrate. And it's just nice to know that, we're going to have a bigger audience for it. We get to introduce it to a larger audience. And I feel very proud that people like Chad and other actors, a lot of like really well-known New York actors are in this, but it's just nice to have introduce them. Not that people haven't seen them on TV and stuff, because some of them have been on TV, but it's just nice to introduce everyone to a larger audience, and introduce this character to a larger audience. It's very exciting. We feel very very appreciative of this, that we get to do this and that we're a part of this and that we're all friends and we get to do this together. And we hope to just kind of build the community. Eventually, we're going to publish this on YouTube, and launch it that way. You can't really do that till you get into these festivals and stuff. So hopefully, we'll just keep building, the fans and followers and subscribers Chad, you're not excited at all to go to show at Groundling's Chinese Theater, are
I
you?
know. I'm very excited. So we did the New York Festival, and that was at the Regal Union Square, which was like a dream. Like I couldn't believe this thing we shot on an iPhone with a bunch of our friends was screening in this like theater that I've seen, the biggest blockbuster movies in New York in. So now to even put that on top of going to the Chinese theater just feels crazy, but amazing. And I'm super excited to be on the carpet with some of our friends. We have a bunch of our teams coming out. We have some of our team is actually in LA. They're LA based anyway. So they'll be joining us. And I'm just so excited to celebrate with everybody. And I love the Dances with Films people.
Yeah, they're great.
Leslie, Lindsay, and Michael, and all those guys are just so awesome. And they were so welcoming in New York. And I'm so thrilled that they invited us to come to LA and be with them again.
Yeah, and we're just really excited to share. I just feel like right now a heartwarming, funny, slightly off kilter, slightly oddball comedy might be what people need. We all need a laugh, and I think it's a very inclusive, warm, organically warm. Like we didn't force it. We had so much fun on the set, and I think that comes through in the show. I hope so. And I feel like that's something that people could use right now.
Definitely. As you prepare yourself to see it with an audience, what are you expecting the reactions to be? And is there any certain point that you're looking for what the reaction's going to be? Is there something that you're not sure of yet?
I'm hoping for dead silence. No, well, we did watch it with an audience in New York,
Mhm,
and I was kind of nervous. I was like, what's this going to be like in the huge screen? And it was just so satisfying
mhm,
to see it, people laugh who I didn't know all their birthdays. It's like, oh, I don't know you people, and you're laughing. That's nice. But you do have to like sort of, it's different than watching it on your little tiny
mhm.
phone, with like, my kids or something. Chad?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've seen it a million times on my phone, even streaming to my TV, but seeing in that theater, especially with the sound, which was like, our sound package was like $20. So the fact that we actually could hear it and it sounded so much better
Mhm.
with the DCP and with the or whatever. However, I'm not a filmmaker myself, so I don't know all the technical stuff, but just
Mhm.
like the way it sounded on the sound system was like a dream. I'm like addicted to see this little thing we did in Queens kind of blow up on this big screen. So I cannot wait to see it again,
And
especially.
also Chad's partner David, who's in it, also wrote the music, and the
Mm.
music's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. He also plays my wannabe love interest. So hey, David.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on this project. I found it so super funny. I really enjoyed
Oh,
season one, and I can't wait to see what the rest of season two will bring to us.
thank you so much. That makes us feel so good. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you so much. We
Thank you
can't
for
wait to see
having
it.
us.
Mhm.
And
Thank you
come
both for
see
your
it.
time.
Come buy tickets and bring your friends and come see it with
Mhm.
us.
Definitely will. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for inviting us.